Fun, and it's all straight ahead right here on Root Sports.
On this Sunday afternoon, the Pirates will wrap up a 10-game homestand with the third and final game between the Bucks and the Phillies. The Pirates, a season best 5 games, over 500 to start action today. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Pirates Baseball along with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Never. Bobby Spakowski will join us in just a little bit. Pitching matchup today features a couple of guys who know each other real well. It's the student and the teacher, A.J. Burnett facing Jeff Locke.
Well, it certainly always makes for a very interesting game when you have a couple of obviously very close friends matchup going to be thrown against each other, and both of them want to get those bragging rights. You have a kind of a mentor type deal going on between the two of them. So this is going to be a lot of fun for me to watch, and especially the absolute matchups when one of them's hitting.
Last time out for Burnett Tuesday against the Marlins, a no decision with 6 innings pitched. He did strike out 10. And for Jeff Locke, since being called back from Indy on the 8th of June, he has a 2.48 ERA and is 1-1 in 5 starts. 2-0 against the Phillies. Both of those wins coming last year. But Locke, his last time out, Bob, has been doing what he's been doing since the 8th of June. He's been very good.
His command has been just outstanding this year. The control is really what I think is the difference that you're seeing right now. Being able to consistently paint with that changeup, consistently pitch inside with his fastball. He has just made that next step over what really we saw from last year.
So it's Jeff Locke and A.J. Burnett as the Pirates try to break out the brooms against the Phillies. They've won the series, winning the first 2 games. They'll go for 3 in a row in this showdown in Gotham City. It's the Bucks and the Phils. Lineups and first pitch coming up on Root Sports.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyattoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank. Know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. Let's go Bucks!
Another gorgeous weather day here on this 4th of July weekend as we get set to wrap up this long homestand. Pirates will head out on the road after today to St. Louis and Cincinnati. Jeff Locke trying to send them out winners and give the Bucs their first sweep of the season. So far, Pirates have been unlucky in their prior 8 attempts to sweep an opponent. Maybe Jeff Locke has the winning formula today as he takes the hill. Locke last year a National League All-Star. And today is Selection Sunday in Major League Baseball. Speaking of the All-Stars, tonight we'll find out who will be going to the Midsummer Classic. And there's Andrew McCutchen, a high five for the reigning MVP. Lee Polanco with an autograph and a photo. All part of a day's work for El Cafe. Phillies lineup brought to you by Honda. Ben Revere leads off. Cesar Hernandez, the switch hitter, will play second base. Jimmy Rollins, a career .323 hitter against the Pirates. He'll be playing in his 80th game against Pittsburgh this afternoon. Marlon Birdbats cleanup. John Mayberry at first base. Cody Ashe at third. Dominic Brown at left. Cameron Rupp back behind the plate. And pitching A.J. Burnett. Burnett 7 for 36 at the plate this year. He will face the left-hander Jeff Locke, who has had good success against the Phillies. Last year went 2-0 against the Phils. This year in 6 starts, he's 1-1.
Jeff needs to try and put all this extra stuff that's going on with A.J. coming back and pitching in the same game he is. Get rid of that. Get it out of your mind best you can. It's impossible to get it out of his head completely. He is his buddy, his friend. But he needs to concentrate on the job at hand and go after these hitters the way he's been doing since he's been here. He needs to put up those same kind of stats.
I talked to Jeff on Wednesday after his start against the Diamondbacks. He said he was already looking forward to this one and knows he needs to get out the Phillies hitters. Defensively for the Bucs today, in left field, Josh Harrison. Starting Marte the day off. McCutchen and Polanco out there as well. Alvarez and Mercer with Walker and Davis. Russell Martin behind the plate. Josh Harrison. He is a starter at multiple positions, a super utility player. Yesterday started at second base, today left field.
Kind of like when you come here, it's like find Waldo. Where's Waldo?
Where's J-Head?
Yeah, where's he going to be out there, that lineup on the field?
Well, this guy, you know where he's going to be.
3 spots
center field,
center field.
Batting third, exactly. And later today, we expect to learn that he will be starting in the All-Star game. Michael Martinez is back, activated today. Clint Barmas going on the disabled list with a groin injury. So Michael Martinez back in uniform for the Pirates, recalled from AAA Indy. Russell Martin back behind the plate, and we are just about ready to go and start this Sunday afternoon game off. Ben Revere leading off, a .290 hitter. First pitch of the game from Locke. In for a strike. Revere went 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday, and hits a bouncer to Walker. That's how the game starts. 1 out. Revere grounding out to Neil Walker.
That's certainly what you want to do to get this game off on the right foot.
Cesar Hernandez, the switch hitter, playing for Chase Utley today. Both Utley and Ryan Howard have the day off for the Phillies. And the pitch to Hernandez. Looked like he wanted to bunt, but pulled it back, took a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In the air to center field, and there's McCutchen. 2 down.
And this is You know, the best thing when you have a game like this where there's a lot of stuff going on other than just the regular, normal stuff, get off, to a good start in that first inning. Got the easy ground ball, now a routine fly out. Get the third out, get back into the dugout.
So 2 down. Jimmy Rollins, the hitter, also a switch hitter. Well, the pitch to Rollins.
They try and throw that fastball in at that point. Now, Locke would like to elevate that fastball a little bit toward the hands when he goes in there. But that's why he does it. Fastball in, and you speed up the bats. They have to commit to their swing a little early, and then he'll throw that great changeup away. And getting a ton of strikes out of that changeup this year. Oh, I like that pitch. Like it a lot. That's where he has to throw the ball, and he has to get some of these anyway called strikes when he goes inside with that fastball.
2-1 pitch down the left field line, and Harrison giving it a run, but that'll hook out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jimmy Rollins. 2 out, top of the first. Here is Locke's 2-2. There's a bouncer to Pedro. And Pedro throws it into the first row. Ouch. Error for Alvarez. That is his 18th error this year. And the 3rd time he has caught a flyer on one of these. Should have been a routine out.
This happens to him occasionally where he has plenty of time. You see him, he took a little bit of a crow hop, and it's so high that Ike Davis, the first baseman, he'll just turn and look to the stands to see if there's any kind of a rebound he can possibly get. But when it goes in on the fly, it doesn't matter where it goes after that. You got a runner at second, scoring position.
Marlon Byrd at the plate. Talking to Clint Hurdle prior to the game, he said the key to this series is getting Byrd out. Getting Marlon to not get hits with runners on base.
He's their best hitter.
They respect his run producing ability, certainly. 50 RBIs. He said, okay, he got a solo home run yesterday, but it was a solo home run. There's only 1 run. 1-0 pitch. Now it's 1-1. But the big at bat of the game yesterday was in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded. And Edinson Volquez was able to strike out Byrd to win the inning. Volquez picked up his 7th win of the season. A.J. Burnett getting ready to come out and face the Buccos in the bottom of the first. 1-1 pitch. Also, Martin wanted a strike, so hey, that's a good pitch, but didn't get the call, and it's 2-1.
Got to have those for strikes. I mean, that is the big part of Locke's game, is throwing that fastball in there, keeping those guys honest. And you've got to get strikes called on them.
Rollins breaks for 3rd, and Byrd hits it into left field. And the error proves costly as the Phillies get on the board 1-0.
Yeah, a lot of times when somebody goes to 3rd and there's 2 outs, you don't cover the bag because it doesn't matter. Let them steal 3rd. You stay back and you try to cover up that hole. In this case, the Pirates, Pedro Alvarez is covering 3rd base, and look where the ball's hit. Why cover 3rd? Him stealing 3rd's not going to score a run. A base hit in that hole is. You can't cover 3rd on that.
1-0 Phillies. Here's John Mayberry Jr. playing first base today. .219 the average for Mayberry. Unearned run. And the Bucks find themselves behind 1-0. And a strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. These are the kinds of runs you can't give up against a guy like A.J. Burnett, who can be pretty stingy.
Well, you know what my theory is on 1 run in the first. Who cares? You had to score 1 anyway. Just make sure it's just 1.
And this one popped up to Walker. So an unearned run, an error, a base hit, and a man left. Jeff Locke's first inning of work is completed, and A.J. Burnett, the former Pirate, will come out to face his former teammates. He'll face Gregory Polanco for the very first time, then Josh Harrison, and then Andrew McCutcheon. Here's A.J. taking the field. And 11 last year, and working for the team across the state now against the Buccos after just 2 seasons here. And so far this season, 1 complete game, no shutouts. It's 5-7 with the Phillies. Keeps his ERA under 4, 3.92.
The walk numbers, the 51 walks, it's been his Achilles heel this season, and I really would like us to see, you know, especially first time through the lineup, be a little patient. Don't be afraid of falling behind in the count. Take a few pitches and just see what kind of command he has of his curveball. That's what we look for all the time when he was a Pirate. Did he have the control of the curveball? When he did, you knew he was going to be on. When he didn't, it might be a tough game for him.
Some memories of the A.J. Burnett era. That's how it started, with a bunt foul into the eye socket in spring training. He debuted against the Cardinals. He flirted with a no-hitter against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley. A little message for Hanley Ramirez. 2,000 strikeouts. A.J. Burnett enjoyed his time with the Pirates. But now, Pirates will do their best to beat A.J. today. Gregory Polanco facing him. And that pitch in for a strike. Polanco just a tick under 300 now at 299. 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in for the Pirates right fielder. And he takes another strike. You know you're going to see some strikes, but for Burnett, he does walk guys on occasion. Got a good curveball when he's ahead in the count. Pitch inside. Oh, and run up on appeal by Hal Gibson. And that's strikeout number 1 for A.J. Burnett.
That's the pitch we need to lay off of.
So the lineups just saw Polanco, Josh Harrison up now. Last night, he didn't do that well. He was 1 for 4. Andrew McCutchen, Neil Walker, Russell Martin. Saw the rest of the lineup. One ball, no strikes to Harrison. Now it's 1-1. If you're patient with Burnett, he might put you on. He's had at least 4 walks in 7 of his 18 starts this year. Josh also hitting .299. Chase one outside.
That's really the bread and butter pitch that makes AJ what he is, a strikeout type pitcher. You're going to get a lot of those curveballs. You have to try to see him early enough to where you're not going after him, not chasing him. You got to almost kind of be looking for it, especially in certain situations.
Well, Harrison went after one upstairs. He strikes out. So 2 gone, and now Andrew McCutchen, a touch homered in the first inning yesterday. His 13th of the year, his 116th as a Bucco. Touch hitting .322. And Burnett's pitch. Taken for a strike. 0-1 to McCutchen. Phillies got a run following a throwing error by Pedro Alvarez. And Marlon Byrd hit one on the ground in the left field to score Jimmy Rollins. Unearned run. But the thing about unearned runs, they all count.
The wins and losses are always affected by the unearned runs, and that's what it all comes down to. In the end, that's what they're out there for. Wins and who doesn't.
Touch behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 to Andrew McCutchen. 2 down, nobody on. Bottom of the first inning. And that one into the glove of a diving Ashe. Throws to first, too late. Base hit. Terrific play by Cody Ashe. Outstanding work by the Phillies third baseman, but cuts just too quick down the line.
Yeah, I thought the Kutch hit this ball hard enough that it was going to go through one hopper, but Ashe definitely made a great play on this. Right in the web of the glove.
Neil Walker with a 7-game hitting streak going. Looking to hit in his 8th straight. Didn't start yesterday. Didn't get a plate appearance. Came in defensively at the end of the ball game. Pirates winners in the first 2 games of this 3-game set. 7-2 on the current homestand. They've won 5 of the last 6 ball games. And we talked about it in the pregame, Bob. I know we've been talking about it a little bit before the game. A lot of teams would run on A.J. Burnett because he's got a very slow move to the plate. We'll see if McCutchen takes off on him here with 2 outs.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to be something that we take advantage of.
For 20 stolen bases, opposing base runners, 4th most steals against in the National League, so you can run on it. Since June 10th, that was the day Gregory Polanco came up. The Pirates lead the National League in stolen bases with 29. It's a foul ball up the first base side, 2-1 to Walker. fact, last year, Russell Martin had to be paired with A.J. Burnett. And it wasn't a personal catcher situation. It was a situation where Clint Hurdle felt the best chance to throw out opposing base runners was with Russell Martin back there. So he had to catch A.J. after a while. It's 2-2.
I think one of the reasons that they acquired Russell Martin was because in AJ's first year with us, the league was just running constantly when he was on the mound. Every game. They couldn't be stopped.
See if Kutch goes on this pitch. 2-2 the count. There he goes. And Walker looks from the left center field. McCutchen on his way to third. The outfielder falls, and McCutchen holding at third base. And Ben Revere slipped on the turf. And now the Pirates with a bit of a threat with 2 outs. Runners at first and third, and Walker with an 8-game hitting streak.
And he's sitting on that curveball a little bit. Knows he's going to get it. And he's waiting, able to fight it off.
That's with a head start on the 2-2 pitch. Got him to third. So the tying run at third base. As I mentioned, that's 8 straight for Walker. Longest current hitting streak on the club.
Looks like he still has his velocity. Pop that one in there at 95. I'm going to add a little bit.
Well, for a guy who is considering retirement to still be able to throw 95-mile-an-hour fastballs for strikes, it's something. And last year at the end of the year, he said that he would play for the Pirates or retire. But people offer you a certain amount of money, that changes things.
He certainly cashed in a huge payday.
His current deal with the Phillies will guarantee him about $23 million.
That's if he just plays
this year.
If they choose not to bring him back, that's the smallest amount of money he'll walk away with.
First and third, 2 down, 2-1 the count to Martin. And swings and misses for strike 2.
You kind of think that AJ will be wearing a different color uniform though in a month.
I would think so. I would think that would be the case. I think the Phillies, if they continue down the path they're on, 50 losses now, they're at a season worst 13 under 500. But AJ would probably be one of several to be wearing a different uniform. And Neil Walker's going to steal second base uncontested. Second stolen base of the year for Walker. No throw from Rupp.
I say Walker makes it absolutely easy. No throw.
A full count to Russell Martin. A.J. Burnett with a payoff pitch coming up. 1-0 Phillies. Pirates have a tying and go-ahead runs in scoring position. Bottom of the first. This one fouled back. When Edinson Volquez was signed for just $5 million, people said, "Oh, he's going to take the place of Burnett in the rotation." Well, look at the numbers. ERA's lower. On an average, lower. Record better.
Edinson has been worth every penny to this point. He's pitched extremely well.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Russell Martin. That's to right field. And Bird won't get it. Pirates will take the lead. Catches in. Walker right behind him. Heading to second base. Safe. Here's Russell Martin with a 2-out, 2-run double.
Well, sometimes, Russell occasionally will get a little pull happy, I think. We've seen him hit a lot of foul balls down toward Nicoleva. But in this instant, he certainly did the right thing with the pitch he had to work with.
Double number 8 for Russ. He now has hit safely in 6 straight games. RBIs 25 and 26 for Martin. Mike Davis has faced Burnett just 3 times before. He's 0 for 3 against him.
There's the fastball at 95 outside half. That's where a lot of times Russell get out there and try to pull that ball, roll over on it. But he just went the other way, and he's a strong dude. He can drive that ball over the right fielder's head anytime.
The Philadelphia Phillies starting pitchers have a combined ERA in the first inning of 5.28. That's the second highest first inning ERA in baseball. The Rockies have the highest at 5.46.
That just went up.
Yes. They may be right around Rockies territory in terms of ERA in the first. Russell Martin coming up big with a clutch 2-out double.
Russ watching that just a little bit, he realized that yes, that is going to get over his head. And he picked up the pace, make sure he got in the second. It's not an automatic double when you hit one off our right field wall here at PNC Park. You got to run hard for it if the right fielder does his job.
A 1-1 to Ike Davis. Breaking ball in for a strike. It's 1-2. This next pitch for Burnett will be his 27th of the first inning. He got Polanco and Harrison both to strike out, and then McCutchen a base hit, Walker a base hit, Martin a double. And Davis down on strikes. Burnett strikes out the side, but gives up 2 runs on 3 hits, and after an inning, the Pirates lead the Phillies 2-1.
First inning for the Pirates. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Andrew McCutchen is a busy guy, as we know, on and off the field. But this morning was a very special one for Cutch as he hosted Jonathan Farling, a kid from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, 14 years of age, dealing with leukemia. And his wish was to meet Andrew McCutchen. And boy, you know when Cutch gets word of these things, you know he makes it special for those young kids. The Farling family is from Big Cove Tannery, Pennsylvania, and spent the night in Pittsburgh last night. And Jonathan taking a little warm-ups, and here's the reason why. Got some tips from Cutch because he threw out the first pitch, and look who was there to catch it, Andrew McCutchen. He got a tour of the field. He has a new Cutch jersey autographed by him, and he's going to take a visit to see you, Tim and Bob, at some point in time today, I believe early in the ballgame. Check out the whole operation behind the scenes. Yeah. But Andrew McCutchen probably, well, let's say it's almost certainly he'll be named an All-Star tonight on the field, certainly an All-Star off of it.
Absolutely. Has the Team Jonathan T-shirt on that we showed you earlier, and he basically switched jerseys with Jonathan. We look forward to seeing him up here in the booth in a little while. 2-1 Pirates. This one popped back by Cody Ashe. Pirates with 2 first-inning runs. The Bucks now have scored 12 first-inning runs over the last 7 ball games, 8 first-inning runs over the last 3 games.
That's a pretty important inning to score in. You get out there and you play with a lead. It's a lot easier on your starting pitcher. You can go for bigger chunks of the strike zone.
See where this pitch was.
Oh, today you need to go for bigger chunks of the strike zone. Because the little pieces, the edges, they don't seem to be there. There we go.
Oh, they're on that one.
Got one that time.
So Ashe.
Yeah, Ashe's probably thinking, hey, wait a minute. It's the same distance the other one was. The third pitch, fourth pitch, the same distance away from the hitter, but sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't.
Still love Ray J, but rooting for Jeff today. It's time Robin upstages Batman, huh? What do you think? Stop being his ward.
That's a good one.
Dominic Brown, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brown came back at the start of the series from paternity leave. Birth of a baby daughter. He's back to work. 1-1 pitch. Inside, swing and a miss.
How about that fastball? Had a little run on, a little tail. Nice movement.
Wow, look how far inside that ball was.
Really tied Brown up. See him bring that arm in or real close to his body, trying to fight the ball off.
Up and in, tried low and away that time. Follow it up. The count is even 2-2. 1 out, base is empty. And a bouncer foul. That's first base coach Juan Samuel. Brown didn't start in left field in the first game once he was activated from the paternity list. Tony Gwynn Jr. started on Friday. So Martin holding it there. No call from the crew chief Dale Scott. Except for a ball.
Tight strike zone.
Usually the Duchess is flying the Jolly Roger. Ground ball to Pedro. There are 2 outs.
Who's leading the league anyway?
Well, we'll find out. Barrel Automotive League leaders, stat pitchers who average fewest pitches per inning. Jeff Locke leading 12.8 pitches per inning. Brad Ziegler of the Diamondbacks and Mark Melancon on the list as well. Anderson Alvarez and Tim Hudson. Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Ray Searage tells these guys make something happen in 3 pitches or less. Jeff really takes it to heart. Cameron Rupp, number 8 hitter in the Phillies order, batting 150. Swing and a miss. Now, one thing I asked Clint Hurdle about in his office today about this matchup. So these guys will be trying to get, you know, the other 8 hitters out, but when AJ and Locke have to face one another, that would be interesting.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, he agreed. He said for him that was something he was looking forward to also. AJ on deck, but he might not get a chance to hit this inning. That would be the best case if he leads off in the next inning. 0-2 pitch. And AJ will indeed lead off for the Phillies next time as Rupp strikes out. Phillies gone in order in the second.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates with a 2-1 lead over the Phillies. Bottom of the second inning. 3 hits in the first, including a 2-out, 2-run double by Russell Martin to score McCutchen and Walker and put the Pirates the lead back. I hope to be able to use both of those items today, the Jolly Roger and the broom. Well, the rosin bag hasn't exploded yet, and it happened on opening day last year, another time as well when AJ was out there. Maybe he keeps the exploding rosin bag at home now. Pedro leading off against Burnett.
Keeps it on the belt.
Oh, the utility belt. Yeah. 1-0.
That's where he's got all his toys.
Yeah, he had it. Yeah, this was last year, opening day. Kaboom.
Oh, I remember that. That was great.
Well, it happened twice. Was that the opening day one? Because it was. Yeah, that was the opening day one. It happened on opening day and another day. But surprised a lot of folks.
It surprised AJ.
3-0 pitch to Pedro. Went after it, fouled it off. Ball, 1 strike pitch. That's ball 4. First walk of the game for AJ Burnett, and the Pirates with a base runner in the second, nobody out. Time to submit your photos. Be our AT&T fan photo of the day. Show us the most unique ways you raise the Jolly Roger, the fun places you watch the games on Root Sports, or how you display your Pirate pride. Submit a picture via Twitter. Hashtag Bucks fan photo for your chance to have it shown today during our telecast. Kayaks are out.
got a pirate look, gold. It's nice color.
That's a fun thing to do right there, by the way.
Kayak?
Right there, right.
Oh, right here at the stadium.
You can rent them right behind the stadium. Drawn on the river.
Good day for it.
Jordy Mercer up. Jordy having a pretty good time lately with the bat. Gone 8 for 11 in his last 4 games. He's hit safely in 5 straight. Had a pair of doubles yesterday. Friday he had a 4 RBI game, first career 4 RBI game. And this one ripped foul. Nick Leyva get out of the way. Blaze made a nice effort.
Yep. Go for it.
Laid out for it.
Then get the glove down. See that one under the glove. But you won't see the effort any better than that anywhere. Looks like the knees are all skinned up.
He's got to go get back into duty again. Well, the youngster didn't know this is not a catch and release pond. Threw the ball back. Jordy chased that one. And he goes down on strikes. So 1 out.
Well, chased after the hook. That's going to set up a bunt situation now, so it won't be as exciting as we were hoping for. But don't you think they're wearing the wrong colors? Wonk and AJ?
What do you mean?
Well, for their nicknames.
Batman-orama colors?
Yeah.
Batman would be what, black and gold?
Or black, yeah.
Robin would be
Red Robin.
Yeah. That's the newer Robin.
Yeah. They flip-flopped.
Two balls,
Maybe
no
that's
strikes.
a sign, changing of the guard. AJ used to always love to wear the black tops.
Yep, and that kind of started more of a movement toward those black tops. The Pirates wear them more than any other uniform. There's a decent bunt. Ashley Fields throws out long. There goes safe at second base on the sacrifice bunt. First time Locke has laid down a successful sacrifice. 2 men out, and Gregory Polanco up with a man in scoring position. Pirates trying to pick up another run with 2 outs. Polanco struck out, checked his swing, but the appeal down to third base umpire Hal Gibson turned into a strikeout.
Well, that was his first real look at the Burnett curveball. Now he's seen it one time. See if he can lay off of it a little bit better.
Hot shot down to second base. Hernandez throws to first to get Polanco. No runs, no hits, and a man left. We'll go to the 3rd inning. A.J. Burnett will lead off. 2-1 Pirates.
and A.J. Burnett, and there are the two guys on the sign and the two guys in person. And I asked Batman what his thoughts would be or emotions would be like going against Robin.
It's special for both of us. I mean, I even think, last year toward the end, he may have mentioned it, in the wintertime, like, hey, wouldn't this be cool? And then, look what happens. He also had a dream that he bunted on me, and I yelled at him. So, see if that comes true or not, too. But, no, it's cool, man. It's one of those stories where it's special. It's something he's going to remember and something I'm going to remember for a long time.
So I'll do some investigative reporting and find out if A.J. is indeed mad at Jeff Locke for bunting on him last inning and sacrificing a runner over. But definitely, this is probably a unique moment for Jeff Locke right now, Tim.
It is, and a moment he's looked forward to. Throwing his first pitch to A.J. Throw it inside. A.J. looked back out at him.
Yeah, playing around a little bit. I like that.
Main thing for Locke is to get an out.
There's a fastball in. A.J. get a little stare.
Brushed him back a little. 2-1. And 3-1. I mean, Locke definitely does not want to fool around here. Burnett with 7 hits and 36 at bats, a 194 average. And he walks him. All the kidding aside about this Batman and Robin thing, that's something Jeff did not want to do.
It probably had something to do with it. The walk came from that. I mean, how good has his control been all year? Here's the sacrifice bunt laid down. The control has been fantastic. That's what we brag about all the time. And for him to walk A.J., don't you think all that stuff may have led into that?
Yeah, maybe, but you got
it was in his head.
You got a game to try to win, and can't worry about who's inside the uniform. You got to get him out. So Burnett clogging the bases now in front of Ben Revere. Put the tying run aboard. And Revere to Davis. There's one. Mercer the return. Double play. Maybe he just set up the double play.
But now he feels a little bit better about it. Good job by Ike Davis. A nice quick throw to second to get back to the bag for the double play. He's got a speedster coming down the line, so that had to be just about perfect to get Revere.
2 men out, base is empty, and the batter will be Cesar Hernandez. So the walk not costly. Pitch a strike to Hernandez. Hernandez flied to McCutchen in center field first time up.
Caesar, that's one of the enemies, wasn't it, of Robin?
Well, no, sort of. Sort of. That was the Joker, and his real name, the actor, was Cesar Romero.
That's right, Cesar Romero.
You were close. You were trying to tie it all together.
The Joker? That was which one he was?
Swing and a miss. That's a strike to. Now you're going to make me slip and call him Cesar Romero at some point in this game. I know it.
That was my goal. We'll see if I can get you to do it.
As long as I don't call him Ralph Gorshin. That was the Riddler.
How do you know all these? Must have been a Batman aficionado.
No, I just
Biff, boom, bop.
Supposed to know dumb things. I do. Alvarez throw to first, and that's the inning. 3 batters up. Double play. And we'll go to the bottom of the third. 2-1. Buccos. Day, Pirates shortstop Clint Barmas has been placed on the 15-day disabled list, retroactive to June 30th. He was fielding a ground ball yesterday in batting practice with a backhand and felt something pop and a groin strain, so he is on the 15-day DL. Michael Martinez, see him there on the right next to Starling Marte. He has been recalled. Second stint with the Buccos this year. He was briefly with the Pirates on the road when the Bucs were in Miami. Well, we got a Spider-Man sighting. Superhero day at the ballpark.
Yes, it is. That should be in the theme today. That should have been my theme for the tips today. Pre-game should have been superheroes.
Could have been breakfast at Wimbledon today. Could have done a tennis theme.
I was busy with Silverstone, not Wimbledon.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Harrison. That's up high. Josh struck out his first time up in the first inning. Needs one more hit for 200 in his career. His next hit will be his 200. And there it is. That's going to the gap, and that'll roll to the wall. Harrison is going to turn second. Jay heading for third. Here's the throw. He is safe. His fourth triple of the season. And Jay 90 feet away. Career hit number 200 for Harrison.
They got to third fairly easily. It ended up not even being much of a play over there. And this is just it's a routine gap shot, and it's not even all that deep out there. But Josh, he's hustling right out of the box, going down that first baseline. There's where he made the triple right there. That probably maybe the first 45 feet or so. That put him in a position to get to third base.
And McCutchen, a golden RBI opportunity here.
Very seldom can you get to third on a ball like that unless you're going hard out of the box.
There goes the helmet.
If something crazy happens out there, you put one into the notch or ball takes a funny bounce, sometimes you can get a triple without running hard. But you want three, you better be moving right after you hit the ball.
Dutch had a base hit, run scored in the first. Right at Burnett. Harrison can't go anywhere. Burnett makes the play, and there's one out.
AJ, real quick look to third. Wanted to make sure that Josh wasn't going anywhere.
One out. Harrison waiting to score. It's up to Neil Walker now to get him in. Walker 1 for 1, a stolen base and a run scored in the first. He's got an 8-game hitting streak. Infield is in. Josh Harrison with a leadoff triple, giving the Pirates great opportunity here in the third inning. 2-1 ball game. This will probably get the run in. Here comes Harrison. Throw to the plate. Not in time. Sacrifice fly for Walker. It's 3-1 Buccos.
Just far enough.
RBI number 38 for Walker.
I think, you know, I've always thought that, but now with the rule changes, plate, the guys need to slide for the plate now instead of doing that slide to the side with the hand. In that instance there was a little length of time that passed before the hand hit the plate, whereas if he would have went right in with his feet, he would have got to the plate a lot quicker than he did. Now when you have catchers that are allowed to set up the roadblock, you know, then you have to go around, but that's not the case anymore. The roadblock was there. You had two choices, around or through. So that became a very popular style of slide where you go wide and reach back with your hand.
1-2 pitch. Strike 3 to Martin. Well, the Pirates get a run. Josh Harrison's triple set the table. Walker got him in. It's 3-1 after 3.
Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Furniture, proudly featuring solid wood American-made Amish furniture. For furniture that lasts, shop Levin. Let's go Bucks!
Heading to the 4th inning. 3-1. Pirates with the lead. 2014 Major League All-Star voting isn't over quite yet. Be sure to vote for the final player for each league roster tonight through Thursday. Check Pirates.com later today to see who made the team and vote for who should get the final spot on each league roster. You can vote for that guy right there, Josh Harrison. He deserves your vote. Root for Bob's birthday.
That's right, 47 years old.
Are you going backwards?
Yeah, I'm 47.
Oh, maybe it was another Bob. There could be another Bob, you know.
Yeah,
you look good
I
for
saw him.
47.
He was sitting there.
Yeah.
I would say he's 10 years younger than I am.
Jimmy Rollins takes a strike, 1-1. There's Bob.
Yep.
See the arrow? It's an actual arrow. It's not any kind of a super graphic or anything we have.
Got that at the arrow store.
And Rollins, a ground ball to third. Alvarez will throw him out. And there is one down in the Phillies half of the 4th inning. Looks like the Nationals' Jason Worth has the day off, huh? Still rooting for his old team.
Yeah. That's his look.
That's a look-alike right there.
Looks like he can hit a ball a long ways, too. Into the weight room.
One out, nobody on. Marlon Byrd, who has the Phillies run batted in today with a base hit. Takes inside, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to Byrd. Byrd loved his time in Pittsburgh. It was brief, but got to the postseason.
Here's another guy that'll probably be wearing a different uniform in about a month. Really, I think you could just about say that to every Philly that walks up to the plate. That they are going to, from what we understand, at least make an attempt to clean house.
Jeff Locke's 1-1 pitch to Marlon Byrd. Swing and a miss.
And nowadays with the big contracts and with all the clauses and stuff to where you can be traded here but not there, or you have to have permission to be traded anywhere, it's not all that easy to clean house. But I think they're going to try.
Foul off. Count stays 1-2.
Be like if you're trying to clean out your garage and an old broken shovel says, "No, I'm not going anywhere."
Because it's a 10-5 shovel.
It's a 10. Most of my shovels at home are 10-5 shovels.
10 years in the league, 5 with the same garage.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Marlon Byrd. And Locke's 2-2. Foul it back. You know, we were talking about the Joker and the Riddler earlier, and I misspoke. You gave me too much credit. I said Ralph Gorshin. It's actually Frank Gorshin.
Oh, yeah. See, I wouldn't know that.
I made a slight goof there, and the folks on Twitter just reminded me. A lot of them reminded me.
That was the Riddler. Is that the guy dressed in a green outfit?
Yeah, had the question mark on his chest. Yeah. You know, remember who the Penguin was?
Let me think. I remember what he looked like.
You also saw him in the Rocky movies.
Danny DeVito.
Well, in a movie he was the Penguin, but in the TV show it was Burgess Meredith.
Oh, okay.
He was also a trainer in the Rocky movies. Mickey. 3-2 the count to Marlon Byrd. 1 out, base is empty. And he strikes out. 3rd strikeout for Locke. And a 2 out for Philadelphia at the top of the 4th.
He's really throwing the ball well, as long as number 34 is not up there. Beautiful changeup. That is a great shot with the Allegheny Super Bowl of the grip. That nice OK changeup where it forms the OK on the side of the ball with his thumb and his index finger.
Mayberry takes a strike. Mayberry hit a soft liner to Neil Walker in the 1st inning.
Why do they call that your index finger anyway? Do you know?
That's a good question.
You should call it like your pointer. It's your pointer finger.
Charging is Alvarez. Throws on target.
Excellent.
And a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Locke in the top of the 4th. Really good. All right, Paul, thank you very much. The current standings in the National League Central. You see where the Reds are behind the Pirates. Paul just talked about Cincinnati. Just a half game separating the Cardinals and the Pirates.
It's like something that Tom Sawyer or Huck Finn would be on.
Yeah. Paddle wheel. You can see those along the Allegheny. Mike Davis, ground ball to first. Mayberry steps on the bag, and there's one out.
Now that we're by the halfway mark, you can really kind of start to get serious, I think, talking about Cincinnati, St. Louis, Milwaukee. It's really going to become much more important. And everybody is kind of in a big bunch right now. It's going to be a lot of fun to see this second half and see how it all. It's going to be stressful, let's say that.
Yeah, and you see Miami up 1-0 on St. Louis. They came back with 2 in the ninth yesterday to overtake the Cardinals in a 6-5 win. So the Pirates hoping Miami can take care of business again today. Strike to Pedro.
Last week before the All-Star break, going right up against 2 of those teams, St. Louis and Cincinnati.
Should be a very interesting road trip.
Important one.
Alvarez to right field. Bird on the run makes the catch.
Now that was one of those curveballs that he was able to get it up into the strike zone a little. Pedro hit it like he was waiting for it.
2 outs. The Icy Light Landing at PNC Park. It's located behind the left field bleachers right there. Stop by throughout the season to enjoy draft beers and get all 3 limited edition Pirates cans. So look at one right there.
That's a great place to really watch I think a day game. Nice warm afternoon to get out there. A few years ago, 10, 12 years ago now, it's been a long time, did a radio broadcast from those seats. It gets crazy out in the bleachers.
Yeah. Well, the Phillies broadcasters found that out recently. They did one in center field, and the play-by-play guy Tom McCarthy brought his first baseman's mitt and caught a home run ball. It was hit right to him. That was last week, I believe.
No, he actually caught a home run ball.
Yeah. There's Tom. He doesn't have his glove with him today. And he's with 2 former players. There's Matt Stairs in the middle, Jamie Moyer on the left. And they let Tom make the play that day.
Jamie really hasn't changed much since his playing days.
Probably rode up in the elevator with him on Friday. He'd never broadcast a game here before. He didn't know where to go, so I had to show him where his booth was.
Just tell him to get oxygen.
We talked about the elevation.
Well, they don't have to deal with that. They can wait until things settle down before they make a comment like I do. I'll let you guess how far it's hit. Not an easy place to figure out the pop flies and fly balls. Although I will say that I think the Nationals are a little more difficult.
A little higher up.
A little higher, an extra deck on the stadium.
Well, in Washington, you're among the lights of the stadium.
Yeah, you're way, way up there. But we're at the top of the second deck, essentially, here. And you put an extra deck on the stadium and then put booze on. That's the Nationals ballpark. I'm not that far away, just right next door. Look at that.
Mercer chased another.
That's that curveball.
Jordy goes down on strikes. Pirates gone in order in the 4th. They've got a 2-run lead heading to the 5th. Pirates history, this date 2002. Darrell Ward became the first to hit a home run into the Allegheny on the fly. It's a fifth inning grand slam. The Bucks' Kip Wells. Blast traveled an estimated 479 feet and helped the Astros beat the Bucks 10-2. And we just showed you one of the Phillies broadcasters a little bit ago, Matt Stairs. He had 3 of them on the bounce into the Allegheny.
We asked Matt one time about his approach to especially pinch hitting, and he said that my approach is every time I get up there, I'm going to try and hit the ball in the river every time. And that really is kind of refreshing to hear that kind of honesty, and that's what he was trying to do. He knew what his role was. Coming off the bench with a couple of guys on base, you're behind. You're not trying to flare one to left. You want to do some damage. And he was always wanting to take advantage of that short right field here, and did several times.
Jeff Locke gets ahead of Kobayashi, 0-2. I don't think we've seen one in there this year, have we? I don't believe there has been one in there this season. Ashi to left field, a base hit. Locke lost him on an 0-2 pitch. And the Phillies with a man aboard, just their second hit of the game.
He was trying to just paint a ball down and away, a little fastball, maybe get a strike 3 looking, perhaps. Just didn't get it out there.
And now Locke will face Dominic Brown, who grounded out to third his first time up. Could use another ground ball here. Runner at first, nobody out. Nothing in 1 the count to Brown. Hitting 223 for Philadelphia. Now it's 0-2.
You're looking for Dominic Brown to give him a lot more offense than he has. Remember when he was first coming up, they were talking a lot about him.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Sandberg and Larry Bowa. Sandberg in his second season as the skipper. People forget he started with the Phillies. Looked at him as a Chicago Cub. Two balls and 2 strikes. Here comes McCutchen. He'll make the catch. And there is 1 out for the Phillies in the 5th.
Now you need some of those where the ball's hit hard, but somebody right there to make the play for you. Brown definitely put a nice swing on that. Hit the line drive. Kutch was there.
So Cameron Rupp, the catcher, up. Rupp struck out swinging in the second inning. Right now would be a good time for a double play ball, and have Burnett lead off the next inning. BJ's on deck. Did turn a double play in the 3rd inning. Ben Revere hitting into it. Cameron Rupp called up on the 19th of June. Regular starting catcher Carlos Ruiz still on the 7-day disabled list with a concussion. And a ground ball to first base. Ike Davis goes to second for 1. The return, double play.
Hit it again.
No runs, a hit, and that's it. 3-1 Pirates, halfway home. Get an all-access view into the life of Starling Marte. Travel back to his home country, the Dominican Republic, to meet his family, friends, and former coaches. All people who helped shape him into the player and person he is today. Driven, Starling Marte, tomorrow at 7 on Root Sports. Terrific show. You got to check that out. With Bob Walker, I'm Tim Neverett. 3 runs on 4 hits for the Pirates, 1 run on 2 hits for the Phillies. And now A.J. Burnett will face Jeff Locke to start the bottom half of the 5th inning. Jeff's been helped out by a couple of 3-6-3 double plays. Locke, last time up, put down a sacrifice bunt. He will take a strike. Oh, 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Jeff with just 1 hit.
Throw the change.
12 at bats. Yeah, that's not fair. Throw a curveball next.
Well, no, he threw the changeup just to mess with Locke.
Yeah. It's not fair at all. Ground ball to short. Rollins throws out Locke. One out for the Pirates.
I think he just yelled at Locke down the line and said, "Go sit down."
He said it.
Well, he's
sort of like that.
He phrases it differently.
Yes. The change up and then
look at Locke.
What are you doing?
Where did that come from? You don't throw change ups. That's my pitch.
Third time up for Polanco. Last time he hit Burnett pretty hard to second base to Cesar Hernandez. Off-speed pitch outside, ball 1. And now Jeff giving his version of the at-bat. Up and in. 2 balls, no strikes to Gregory. Polanco struck out, grounded out. 0 for 2. Last 5 games before today, 6 for 17, 3 RBIs. Took a healthy cut. The 2-1 pitch to Polanco. In the dirt, 3-1. Gregory is going to be a fun player to watch as he continues to mature as a big leaguer. And he walks. Well, Polanco goes down to first. We'll see if he tries to take second on Burnett. The Coca-Cola Fan Pack is available every Sunday home game. Starting at just $35 in advance, receive a lower outfield box ticket, fountain drink, hot dog, and a soft pretzel. Get your tickets at PNC Park ticket windows or visit pirates.com/fanpack. Jay with a triple last time up. 1 for 2. That hit was his 200th of his career. Pirates have 1 stolen base today. There was an uncontested steal of second by Neil Walker with Andrew McCutchen at third base. There goes Polanco, and it's fouled back by Josh.
J.A. being a kind of a base stealer himself, I'm really surprised he doesn't let Polanco have his steal. He could be hitting right now with a runner at second. I didn't want to say anything because I thought maybe it was a hit and run, but then watching Polanco on the replay, he never looked. That's not a hit and run, that's a straight steal. Should have took that pitch.
Now Jay Hay lifts this one into center field. Going back, Hernandez. Coming over is the right fielder Marlon Byrd to make the catch. Byrd had to cover some ground. Revere was playing deep where he couldn't get into it. So 2 men out now. And Kutch coming up. Kutch is 1 for 2. Burnett's pitch. Kutch takes strike 1. Kutch hit a 2-run homer yesterday. On Friday had a big game, went 4 for 5 with 2 doubles and a triple. He flirted with the cycle, and in his last at bat he hit the Clemente wall up high. Teased everybody. Said he thought he had it off the bat, but sometimes the wall takes things away. 320 down the line and 21 feet up.
Well, we're certainly not running today like I thought we would. Thought we would really be taking these guys. They have the green light. They're just not running like I thought they would.
And against a guy that people run on all the time, Burnett.
Yeah, it might be the first line in the scouting report.
There he goes. And McCutchen belts it, but it'll be caught by Revere.
Doesn't do any good to you. Wait till 2 strikes. Hitter's got to swing.
Nothing across for the Pirates in the 5th. Great pictures from the Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl on this Sunday afternoon. We get set to start the 6th inning. Folks out in the bleachers excited all around this ballpark. What a good crowd on hand today as the Pirates wrap up this 10-game homestand. Maybe she's a superhero. Pirates girl. Did you see her?
Definitely a superhero.
So Jeff Locke facing A.J. Burnett. Another Batman and Robin matchup. And, you know, it's fitting, though, that Robin has the upper hand today. Burt Ward, who played the original Robin on television, is celebrating his 69th birthday today. Just happens to be Robin's birthday today.
Now, how did you know that?
Born on this day in 1945.
The research department give you that?
It was a tipster. Somebody tipped me off to it. Twitter can be good sometimes. Ground ball to short. Mercer, lots of time to throw out Burnett. Let's go down and check in with Robbie.
Well, guys, Ben Revere getting set to hit here, and Vance Worley had a breakout 2011 with the Phillies before being traded to the Twins after the 2012 season. So he finds out the news, and he's initially excited to play with Ben Revere, a guy he had known since they played the AA All-Star game together back in 2010. But here's the problem. They were traded for each other. So they wish each other luck and cross paths, but that really wasn't the craziest part with the trade. When you talk about Vance Worley, he had planned to buy an engagement ring for his then girlfriend. When he got done working out, he was headed to the jewelry store when he got the call from Ruben Amaro saying that he was traded. So not only did he pop the question, but he also had to tell his now wife Maricel that, oh, by the way, we're going to Minnesota. So the life of a baseball man, and could have had a further friendship with Ben Revere, but kind of a unique story for both guys involved.
Yeah, life of a baseball player. I work nights, weekends, and holidays. How do you like me now? Oh, and by the way, I just got traded. She said yes, Robbie? Okay. 0-2 to Revere.
So Worley's wife Maricel is from the Philly area, so that's what made it tougher when he had to break the news when he got home from the workout that day. So he picked up the ring, popped the question, then called Ben Soto. By the way, hey Ben, good luck. I got to bring my girl from Philly back to Minnesota, and everything worked out well, obviously, with Worley quite happy here in Western PA.
So Revere, with an 0-2 count. Well, looking forward to the Vanimals' next start. Been off to a very good performance. Pedro's got it. Throws out Revere.
A little tricky hophead to deal with. Did a good job with that one.
Pedro's been busy. Did have the throwing error in the first inning that resulted in the Phillies' only run, but since then he's been right on.
Maybe it didn't do anything. Just thought that the way he brought it up, I thought maybe the ball had come up also, but he just caught it and then brought it up quickly to his chest.
Two men out for Cesar Hernandez. First ball swinging. And a nice, quick and tidy inning. It took Jeff Locke just 8 pitches to retire the side. Pirates baseball. Kids don't go easy on Neil Walker even when they're attending his baseball camp. And then the Pirates bullpen bursting with talent. Left-hander Justin Wilson might just own the best arm. A new Inside Pirates Baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network. Today after postgame on Root Sports. Neil will lead this one off. Neil enjoyed the camp. Had a chance to chat with him about it briefly earlier this week. Well, hoping to sweep the Phillies back down I-76. Might even provide him with the easy pass. What do you think?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
A.J. Burnett will face Walker, Martin, and Davis in the Pirates' sixth.
On the way to Valley Forge.
And a strike called to Walker. Walker base hit, a run scored in the first.
Talked to some Philly fans after the game yesterday out here.
Yeah.
Signed a couple autographs. I asked them if they had drove. They said, yeah. Well, have a safe trip all the way back to Valley Forge.
It is Italian ice.
That looks delicious on a day like this, doesn't it?
Yeah, get that in Philly, obviously. They like it. They say it a little differently on the eastern side of the state, though. As Walker grounds out to Mayberry. One out. Never a surprise to see Philly fans talking to you, Bob. They never forget 1980, do they?
No, they don't forget. You know, I've over the years I've given it a lot of thought. And an organization had been around for so long to finally win a World Series that they really, revere that team. And I think that's what that is all about.
Yeah, Bob started game one of the World Series.
Greg Lazinski here today.
Did you?
Yeah, he's came on a little trip from Philly with a group of folks. He was down in the press room. He still fits his nickname too. The ball boy. He is still big and strong.
Jimmy Rollins drops it, throws to first, and just barely gets Martin. Good play by Mayberry at the end of it. Two gone. The batter will be Ike Davis. Didn't Clint Hurdle get a hit off here in 1980 World Series?
I believe he did.
He was with the Royals.
He wasn't alone. There were several Royals that did.
Pretty good pick by Mayberry there. Allegheny Health Network Supermo slowing it down. Ike Davis is 0 for 2. Phillies shifting for him. Ball one to Davis. Burnett has walked 2, and I told you that he's walked at least 4 in 7 of his 18 prior starts this year. He's off the plate, 2-0. Burnett's 2-0 pitch to Davis. Outside 3-0. Mike in the driver's seat here. 2 down, bases empty.
Mike is definitely a guy that'll he'll take a few. He'll make sure you throw strikes.
And there's a strike. A little bit of rain now falling over PNC Park. Very light rain. After the weather we've seen this weekend, the rain, well, it could wait a little while. And that's a full count now.
He'll make you work. He's not gonna let you off. He'll make sure you throw the ball over the plate. He'll make you throw a lot of pitches. Definitely one of the more patient hitters that we have in the lineup on a consistent basis.
Mike follows this one back. July has been a good month for Davis in terms of the home run. He has 16 career home runs during the month of July. It's the most during any month in his career. Down to first base. Mayberry the toss to Burnett covering. And the Pirates gone in order in the 6th. We're going on to inning number 7. The Pirates with a 3-1 lead.
Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
3 runs on 4 hits, 1 run on 2 hits. Pirates 2-run lead over the Phillies, getting set to start their 7th inning of play. With Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Smikowski is here also. Pirates and their fans celebrating the end of the July 4th weekend. Jimmy Rollins will lead off against Jeff Locke. Locke 75 pitches to this point in the game. Rollins is 0 for 2. Reached on an error and scored the lone Philly run in the first. Grounded out to Alvarez in the 4th. Ball 1 to Rollins. Bouncer to Pedro again. Alvarez goes a little high, but Ike handles it. And there's 1 out.
Nice footwork. Went off the back side of the bag.
Six infield assists today for Pedro.
That happens an awful lot when you have a left-handed pitcher on the mound. The third base shortstop usually see an awful lot of work.
Strike 1 to Marlon Byrd. Byrd struck out last time up. He had an RBI base hit in the first.
Saw that a lot back when we had Paul Maholm out there, Zach Duke.
It's like it's feeding time on the river. Nothing in 1 to Byrd. 1 out, bases empty. And Byrd hammers this one. And Marlon Byrd has hit his 2nd home run of the series. His 18th of the year. It's now a one-run ball game.
He's the guy in the lineup that you have to be careful with. There it comes, coming back.
Those 2 home runs have come in back-to-back games, both of the solo variety.
Well, last year, Bird came over and really gave us a big boost. Hit in the middle of our lineup. You got to think he's going to do the same thing for somebody this year.
Bird with another long ball. Bird having a good year for Philly.
A lot of teams are going to be making that phone call and bringing up his name.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Bird in the postseason again this year.
Be surprised to not see him in the postseason.
Yeah, I guess you're that way. I mean, it's just he goes to a team. This is kind of his thing after the suspension. He got a chance with the Mets last year. Pirates picked him up, did great work for us, and then doing great work for the Phillies. Somebody else may grab him by the deadline this year. He has hit 5 home runs over his last 7 games. He's trailing only Giancarlo Stanton of the Marlins in home runs, RBIs, and extra base hits.
Could be an active trading period this year. They got underway kind of quickly with the big move between Seattle and the Cubs.
Oakland
and the Cubs, I mean, yeah.
And there was another trade today.
That just reminded me of something.
We just saw Brandon McCarthy pitch here for the Diamondbacks. He was traded to the Yankees today for Vidal Nuno.
I was talking about that trade earlier with somebody and talked about how Seattle got better, and they looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" Now I understand why they looked at me like that.
It wasn't
It was Oakland.
The Yankees making another move today, designating Alfonso Soriano for assignment. Mayberry pulls this one foul. So somebody will more than likely pick up Alfonso Soriano. Yankees will end up picking up a good portion of it, of what is owed to Soriano. Strike 3.
The Yankees might end up picking up the whole tab. And right there. Hey, Yankees only 3.5 games out. They're not in a rebuilding mode there.
But what's
apparently not wanting him anymore.
Well, what's odd about Soriano is that the Cubs are still paying the majority of his salary this year. So now the Cubs are paying him not to play for them and the Yankees. They're on the hook for about $13 million of that salary this year. 2 outs and Ashe the batter. Ground ball to first, and Davis will handle it. So the Phillies get back on the scoreboard. A solo home run from Marlon Byrd. A 3-2 Pirate lead at the 7th inning stretch. And today, USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad.
And join the Pirates and Major League Baseball as we offer support to our troops here and abroad. Joining us on the field today, representing the Wounded Warrior Project, is Sergeant Tim Cerula of the United States Marines. In 2005, while on patrol in the city of Heath, the 325 Kilo Company that Sergeant Cerula was a part of was avoiding IEDs placed on the main roadways and bombing in that same area when they came under assault. Currently residing in Penn Hills, we are proud and thankful to have Sergeant Cerula here with us today. And now here to lead us with God Bless America are members of the Carnegie Mellon University Pre-College Singers.
stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you to follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Ball game as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jeff Locke has given up 3 home runs on the season. And 2 runs today, only 1 of them earned. A.J. Burnett will start the 7th against Pedro Alvarez.
Need to solo right back at him, huh?
It would be nice.
Well, Pedro hit the last one very hard to right field.
First ball swinging, that's a fair ball. 1 pitch and 1 out. Pedro out very quickly in the 7th inning. Good crowd here today. 33,408. Wrapped around the rotunda again.
Great homestand. A lot of folks came to PNC. Had phenomenal weather. And some great baseball, regardless of what happens this afternoon. It was a successful homestand in that regard.
Just under a sellout today. Pirates sold out 2 of the 3 games against the Phillies. Sold out all 4 games against the Mets. So 6 sellouts on this 10-game homestand. Jordy Mercer today is 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. And although he's put together a lot of good at-bats recently, today he has 2 very subpar at-bats for him. AJ's ahead of him 0-2. And a base hit. And Mercer 1 for 3. That helps.
Locke's got 1 sacrifice. See if they can get another one.
Well, make sure you use your PNC debit card. You can get up to $10 off tickets through every weekday matinee and Friday home game. Use your debit card at the ticket windows. Go to pirates.com/piratescard for more info. Ball 1 to Jeff Locke.
Now, when he got that bunt down earlier, it wasn't exactly bunted in the right direction, but it still worked because Ashe didn't really charge aggressively. It looks like Ashe's coming in a lot harder this time.
Strike 1 to Locke.
So if you bunt at the third, it might not be successful.
Burnett's 1-1 pitch. Throw to first instead. Mercer gets back. Well, just got to get the bunt down here. Get Mercer over. Polanco waiting on deck. It's a go for ball 2. Tight ball game. 3-2. Pirates leading it. 2 runs in the first, a single run in the third. And the Phillies with an unearned run in the first inning, and then a solo home run by Bird in the top of the 7th. There goes Mercer.
Hit and run.
And Locke fouls it off.
It changed things up a little bit. He got into a 2-1 situation where Burnett is going to throw a fastball for a strike. You pretty much know that's going to happen. So they went with a hit and run, trying to stay out of the double play. That's why you start the runner when you let the pitcher swing. And hopefully he'll find a hole.
Well, good bunt again by Locke. His second sacrifice. Moves Mercer over to second.
Kept that ball away from Ashe. Really bunted it straight back to the mound, but I think AJ wanted no part of it. He just backed away from it.
Well, you see Milwaukee and Cincinnati 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Arizona on top of Atlanta. Washington leading the Cubs. And Miami still with a 1-0 lead in St. Louis over the Cardinals. Just a half game behind the Cards, out of second in the Central. 5.5 behind the Brewers. Polanco takes a strike. Gregory without a hit. He did reach on a base on balls in the 5th inning.
I think AJ has come up with a little bit of a new pitch. Saw it in the very first inning. He was using a couple times. That was it again there to Polanco. Looks like he's trying to cut his fastball a little bit. It's up in the upper 80s. Must have been 88. And it's got a little move to the left or to the first base side as it's heading in there. Almost like a little tiny short slider.
Cameron Rupp with the signs for Burnett.
They're all in code.
Runner on second base using another set. Pirates would love to find a way to get Mercer home right now.
Rupp call time. Didn't like something.
Little Roger. 1-1 pitch. Polanco wants that one. Breaking ball for 81.
Black backdoor curveball. Kind of shortened it up so he can control it better.
Now the 1-2 to Gregory. This one is fouled off over by the rain tarp. Nice catch. Fielded it cleanly. I guess he called for it.
You're ready. You'll get another one.
That's Pirates photographer Dave Arrigo. Making sure he's got
to expose some plates tonight.
And Polanco down on strikes. So the Bucks are done in the 7th. We'll leave a man. We'll head to the 8th. It's a 3-2 ball game. A 3-2 game as we start the 8th inning on the North Shore. Defensive changes. Starling Marte goes out to left field for the Pirates, and in from left and at third is Josh Harrison. Pedro Alvarez out. Dominic Brown the batter. He takes a strike from Locke. Locke's last outing against the Diamondbacks, he went 8 innings, surrendering just 2 runs. Those were earned. He surrendered 2 so far today, one of them being earned. It was just the second time in his career, second time this season he's gone 8 innings. And starting the 8th here as the light rain comes back. Ground ball to second. Walker on the in-between hop. Still throws him out.
And he might have let that one play him a little. Like if he had that to do over, he would have backed off it a little bit, maybe got a little longer hop, or maybe even came after it, got a short hop.
Chase Utley will pinch hit for Cameron Rupp. Rain getting just a little harder now. Pitch to Utley. Utley a .287 hitter. 6 home runs, 40 runs batted in. He figures to find out tonight that will be the starting second baseman for the National League All-Star team. And this one high in the air to right field. Polanco drifting back, looking up into the raindrops. Gregory will make the catch to retire Utley. There are 2 down in the 8th.
He didn't like it. You see the reaction, looking off toward the stands. He was not sure when that came off the bat. But it didn't go anywhere.
Ryan Howard will bat for A.J. Burnett. And Howard bounces one foul for strike 1. Ken Giles and Justin DeFreitas warming up, both right-handers. So A.J. Burnett is finished for the afternoon. 7 innings in for A.J. 3 earned runs on 5 hits. Strike 2.
If it would end like this, 3-2, I think the fans would all go home happy. Bucks win. It's lock over AJ, but AJ pitched well, just like he did for the 2 years he was here.
0-2 to Howard. Trying to get him on that inside corner, knee high, and missed. Howard has no home runs and only 1 RBI over his last 16 games. 1 for 14 on the current road trip for the Phillies. And Howard is 0 for his last 7. One ball, 2 strike pitch. 2-2. Jared Hughes now readying himself. And a bouncer to first base. Ike Davis has it. Jeff Locke, for the 3rd time in his last 5 starts, has gone 8 full innings. 3-2 heading to the bottom of the 8th. Well, Jeff Locke absolutely outstanding again today. 2 runs, 1 earned, and goes exactly 100 pitches. Gets through 8 innings.
He was phenomenal. There was one little hiccup there when he walked AJ. That was the only part of the ball game that I didn't like. It was like he kind of let the matchup get the best of him. Just for that one moment, everything else he did was just like we've been seeing. Just, throwing that fastball wherever he wants, using his changeup. Maybe mixed in a few more breaking balls today than we have seen in his last few starts, but it's just consistent every single time out. That the command and his control. There's that 1 base on balls, and that was to AJ as we were discussing. But he's got to be so happy to kind of be past this and have another good one in his utility belt.
Both pitchers threw exactly 100 pitches today. AJ Burnett had 69 strikes. Jeff Locke had 70 strikes. Coy Hill doing the catching. And Justin DeFreitas is the new pitcher for the Phillies, facing Josh Harrison. That's into left field. Right past Ashe. And Harrison trying for 2. Throw is offline, and Josh is in. Buccos with a big insurance run in scoring position now.
That little shower that we had kind of had an effect on this play a couple of times. And I think that last bounce right there, the ball kind of skipped, didn't come up, stayed down, got through. And now the ball rolling through the wet grass was a little slippery. And that's why you saw the poor throw going into second base. And is the dirt a little slippery? There was almost a blowout there.
Harrison aboard on the error by Ashe. Second time Josh has been in scoring position to lead off an inning today. McCutchen bounces this one foul. Justin DeFreitas pitched in game 1 on Friday, won an inning and a third, gave up 2 runs. One of them was earned. So his second appearance in this series. 0-1 pitch to McCutchen. He's rung up on appeal by Dan Iasonia.
They think pretty much hammering touch on the check swing. That one there definitely looked like he went, but maybe I should rephrase it and say he's been getting a lot of check swing strikes. I don't mean to say that they were not strikes. It's been happening a lot.
No balls, 2 strikes. Throw to second base. Back in plenty of time is Harrison. Rooting for a sweep. She's got her broom and the sign.
A smallish broom, wasn't it?
If the Pirates do win this one, it'll be their first sweep since sweeping Cincinnati at the end of last season. They do not have one this year. Nice to get some insurance right now. Up by a run, 3-2 in the 8th. DeFreitas 0-2. Launched it. There's the 1-2 coming to McCutchen. Up and in. 2-2. Justin DeFreitas taking over for A.J. Burnett. Neil Walker waiting for his turn. Nobody out Harrison at second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Andrew McCutchen. And Kutch hits this one up in the air, deep to right center. This ball going, this ball off the wall. Harrison will score. Kutch burning around second. He's into third with a run-scoring triple. 4-2 Pirates.
That'll get him over every time. I'm pretty sure that's what Kutch was thinking, is I got to hit this ball the other side and move Josh over to third base. And when he does it, that doesn't mean he's giving himself up by any means. Hey, that's a breaking ball. Definitely he's going the other way with it the whole time. But when he gets a guy over, he can drive the ball out of the ballpark.
I think Ryan Sandberg's going to challenge this one for fan interference. Looked like a fan reached over. Yep, right there. It'll have to be a crew chief challenge for fan interference.
Boy, they're just going to try and make it a double.
They will take a look at this one. This will be a crew chief challenge. Challenging fan interference. Yeah. Looks like that particular Bucko fan.
I mean,
might cost Kutch triple.
You know, I always get in trouble when I say this, but there is no way he catches that ball. Now, I've had my opinion on these challenges so many times, and I've been wrong, but I've seen this a couple of times now. I don't see how it's even in the realm of possibility he catches that ball. He didn't even have his glove turned the right way, did he? Was he going to catch the ball with the back of his glove?
No.
The ball was up by the yellow line.
It's from our splash cam. Look how far away from Revere it is. He's not going to get that ball.
He's nowhere close to catching it.
So even though the fan touched the ball, it had no bearing on the play.
Well, he changed the direction the ball bounced.
That was it.
Yeah, that's why I thought, what are they going to try and get him sent back to second or something? Because he wasn't going to catch that. No chance of catching it.
Sandberg, normal cases would not be allowed to come out and argue a call that has been held up from New York.
Explain it to him. Yeah. I think, yes, you're right. It did hit the fan's hand, but we think it would still have been a triple regardless. And so he's at third base.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair to explain it to him.
And you saw Sandberg was very agreeable with the explanation.
Well, Sandberg's going to come out and get DeFreitas as a result of McCutchen being at third base. A run is in, and the Pirates now with a 2-run lead. Pitching change for the Phillies. Bucks up in the bottom of the 8th. Nissan. Let's start a road trip tomorrow with 4 in St. Louis before 3 in Cincinnati, and then the All-Star break. Pitching matchups against the Cards look like this. Game 1 tomorrow, Charlie Morton against the ace of the Cards, Adam Wainwright. Tuesday, Vance Worley and Carlos Martinez. Wednesday, scheduled to be Garrett Cole and Lance Lynn. Then in the final game of the series, it'll be Edinson Volquez taking on Shelby Miller. We'll find out for sure on Garrett Cole tomorrow. She is set to throw a bullpen tomorrow, and they'll make their decision after that. But looks good. Everything looks good for him at this point in time. Jake Diekman is the new pitcher for the Phillies.
Diekman, 40 games, 40 innings. A one-inning man. Pretty much. A lot of times lefties will not have that kind of a number. Maybe 40 appearances, perhaps 26, 27 innings. Those are the specialists.
Walker up with the infield in and nobody out, so he just wants to get one through to get Kutch home, add another insurance run. But McCutcheon's triple standing up in spite of the fan interference. 1-0, and they won 1 rather, and that's a swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Walker. And he swings and fouls it off. So the call after the video review, it's a crew chief challenge on fan interference. There was no original call of fan interference. The call was overturned and it was ruled fan interference. But the runner was placed where they thought he would be, and that would be third base. Watch out, a rocket hit down to third by Walker. So they felt McCutcheon would be at third anyway, and that's where he is. But it would be nice if you come to a ball game, especially when the Pirates are up, to not reach over the fence. The ball is fair and in play. Let it play. Yep, we're talking to you. So Diekman ready to deliver the 1-2. Walker down on strikes. 1 out. AT&T fan photo of the game. The Wilburn family sending this one in. Well, look at that. They are in
Vegas,
France. No. That's where the fake Eiffel Tower is. This is Vegas. That's the real one. Paris, France. You can keep those submissions coming in. Hashtag Bucks fan photo on Twitter. Russell Martin will be walked. I said hi to you down here.
Well, that looks like Gabby is stepping up to the on-deck circle.
Davis called back.
Well, they go right-hander now.
Very possible. See what the Phillies counter move is. Sandberg comes up the dugout steps. He'll come out and get the lefty Diekman. And the Phillies will go to a right-hander. As B.J. Rosenberg is ready to go. Well, he's coming out, but he didn't make an indication. He's going to take Diekman out or not. See if he leaves him in. What do you think?
He's going to leave him in, or he would have. He's not letting anybody warm up or anything like that. It's not like he's killing time. So right, he's been throwing the whole inning. So
Rosenberg will continue in the pen while Diekman will stay on to pitch against the right-hander Gabby Sanchez. So the Pirates with runners on the corners and 1 out. 1 run in this inning. An error by Cody Ashe on a Josh Harrison ground ball. Put Harrison at second. Then McCutchen got him in with a triple. Second hit for McCutchen today. And RBI number 54 for Kutch. Gabby with 15 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, 9 for 31. One ball, 1 strike. Sanchez fouls this one down third. Well, she's had a tough day today. She missed one that she dove for. Oh, they're rotating. That was another one.
Got him.
Sanchez hit by a pitch, and now the bases are loaded.
Back foot.
Well, now with the bases full of Bucks, a chance for Starling Marte to blow this one open. 1 out. And if Marte can come up with an extra base hit here,
even a single would be very good. 2 home, make this a 6-2 game. Take the extra base hit also, that would be all right. But a ground ball through the left side, something like that would be just fine.
Strike 1 to Marte.
Got a good pitch to hit. Took a whack at it. Just 99 miles an hour.
1 for 7 this season with the bases loaded. Kutch at third. Martin at second. Sanchez at first, and Marte loops one into right center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Here comes Kutch to score. It's 5-2.
Yeah, Russell Martin had to hold up at second base, make sure that ball got to the grass. So everybody just moving up 90 feet, but still got an extra run in. Breaking ball down and away. It's really a nice at bat. Able to go out there and get that breaking ball after seeing 99 on the inside corner.
Martin down at third base. Marte with a base hit. RBI. Jordy Mercer is 1 for 3. Takes high ball 1. Kutch with a triple and a run batted in. Just driving it to Francisco Liriano. Franco pitched tomorrow in Indianapolis for the Indians. AAA rehab assignment. Mercer to the gap in right center and deep. Bird on the run. He'll make the catch. Martin will tag and score. It is 6-2. Sacrifice fly and RBI for Jordy Mercer. His 27th run batted in. Diamondbacks with 3 runs here in the 8th. 2 men out. Runners at first and second. And the batter will be Michael Martinez, called up today from AAA to take the spot of Clint Barmes, who went on the disabled list with a groin strain. Martinez swing and a miss. Martinez actually started a game for the Pirates this year in Miami on the 13th of June. Was with the Pirates for just that series in Miami. Went 0 for 3 with a walk in that game that he started. Does not have a hit this year. Martinez in his last 30 at bats at AAA went 13 for 30 at .433 for the Indians. 2 balls and a strike to Michael Martinez, who used to be with the Phillies.
Maybe a change of plans with the bullpen now. All these insurance runs. Blanson is maybe not getting up. Take his glove off.
Jared's going to continue to throw. I told Jared today he's getting up there. He just turned 29 on the 4th of July. Said I hope I can get there someday, I told him. Full count on Martinez. Polanco looking for a hit. And on base today. That was via a walk. Martinez batting in the 9 spot for the Pirates. 2 on, 2 out. Runners will go with this 3-2 pitch. And there's ball 4, and the bases are full of bunts.
Dance step. I think it's going to be a very happy clubhouse after this game.
Be a happy flight too to St. Louis.
You're going up against somebody that was really a major player in that clubhouse for a couple of years, and I think it's just a little sweeter to come away with this victory today, since it was AJ that they're going up against.
Well, Polanco's walk in the 5th got him on base, and he is the first Pirates player to reach base in at least 23 of his first 25 career games since Barry Bonds did it in 1986. Bonds reached in 23 of his first 25. Jeff Locke 3 times in the last 5, 8 innings in, kept the hits low, only 3 hits allowed. 2 runs total, 1 of them earned. Struck out 4 through 100 pitches.
Nice matchup today. Really, this was the kind of game I think everybody was hoping for, to see both Locke and AJ kind of go neck and neck. Both throw 100 pitches. 169 strikes, 170 strikes. Well played.
Locke also with 2 sacrifice bunts at the plate. So
the Pirates able to get some insurance runs against the Philly bullpen to hopefully make the 9th inning just a breeze.
They can put those brooms to use.
Yep.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-1 to Polanco. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gregory took a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That's a pitcher's pitch.
Yeah. This one you don't want to hit, but that one looked like it was hittable.
Well, Polanco down on strikes. We'll head to the 9th. Pirates at 3, 6-2. Buccos lead. field and inside the clubhouse for game reaction from the team. Clint Hurdle and our Root Sports analyst. Pirates postgame presented by Allegheny Health Network. Coming up after the game on Root Sports. Paul Alexander today, and he will be joined by some guy we haven't seen in 10 days.
Mr. Wayner.
Yeah, John Wayner will be out there today. Rock will rejoin us for the road trip. Well, 3 outs away from the first sweep of the season. Gabby stays in the game to play first. Pirates had 8 opportunities to sweep the opposition. 0 for 8. And now on the verge of sweep number 1. And Jared Hughes pitching to Ben Revere.
Got this nice cushion now for Jared. There's nothing for him to do but just concentrate on low strikes. That's it, low strikes.
Philadelphia this year, Bob, has been swept 7 times already.
They should be very clean.
It's a ground ball to the left side. Mercer charging. Safe at first is Revere. He got down the line in a hurry.
They can move.
Base hit for Revere. Revere with his first hit. He's 1 for 4. Yeah, this is the most number of times Phillies have been swept before the All-Star break since they were really clean in 1997. They were swept 11 times before the break. Last time the Pirates swept the Phillies was April of 2002 here at PNC Park. It's a 3-game series. 0-1 to Hernandez. Nothing in 2. Hernandez 0 for 3. Flying to center field and grounded out twice. Phillies offense has been struggling. They have been held to 5 runs or less in each of the last 12 games now. Scored a total of 6 runs in this series. Nobody out. Revere at first. And Hughes pitched to the switch hitter Hernandez. Well, the time is called.
That's the one that really bugs me. It's just like pitcher gets up there, he's in the stretch. He hadn't been sitting in it all that long, and then the hitter is allowed to have time.
Long faces in that Philadelphia dugout.
Yeah, this is unless something happens here that's we don't expect. It'll be loss number 51. Still a week before the All-Star break.
And the Phillies will drop to a season worst 14 games under 500. Larry Boa certainly not happy with what's going on. Bench coach for Ron Sandberg. Sandberg in his second year as the Phillies skipper. So the 1-2 on the way to Cesar Hernandez from Jared Hughes. It's playable for Harrison. Hernandez is out. 1 gone for the Phillies in the 9th. Jared getting an opportunity to mop up this game. 4-run lead. 1 out, 1 on. Rollins reached on an error by Pedro Alvarez in the first inning. Scored the first Phillies run. And grounded out twice to Pedro after that. 0 for 3 today for Rollins. His average down to 245. And the 1-0 coming. And a bouncer to Sanchez. He'll have the play at first. And the Phillies are down to their final out.
Play by Gabby, charging that ball just in the nick of time, getting to it before it went foul.
Everybody up as the Pirates are 1 out away from their first sweep of the season. Miami is leading St. Louis 4-0 in the 6th. If the Marlins hang on, Pirates are going to be in second place. Milwaukee has lost 4-2 to the Reds. And the Pirates would gain a full game on the Brewers. Before you know it, they'll be 4.5 out of the lead. Marlon Byrd, he homered in the 7th. And hits a flare to Gabby Sanchez. And it's sweep time. The Buccos go 8-2 on this 10-game homestand. They're now a season best, 6 games over 500 at 47-41.
A very enjoyable victory today for all those guys out there that able to get that first sweep. They are really got some momentum going now. They played so well leading up to this homestand, and then they cruised through the homestand, really setting things up for this important road trip leading into the All-Star break. Guys are swinging the bats well. Pitchers are doing their job. Another great start from Locke as he beat his buddy.
Jeff Locke goes to 2-1. A.J. Burnett 5-8 in the standings right now. The Pirates have caught the Cardinals, and again the Cardinals in progress, losing right now 4-0 to Miami. Brewers have lost. So the Buccos move into second place in the National League Central with this victory today. Let's send you over to our postgame guys, Paul Alexander and John Wehner.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. And, John, obviously, when you have a series sweep for the first time this year and it comes against your cross-state rivals, which, by the way, we go back to April of 2002, the last time the Pirates swept the Phillies, I would imagine everything feels pretty good.
Oh, you got to be extremely pleased with the homestand and, obviously, the first sweep. But 8-2, climbing up the standings, getting some help within the division. The pitching, again, continues to be strong. The bullpen's rested again, getting the hits when we need them. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, the guy that got the hit when they needed him today, that was Russell Martin in that first inning. A 2-out, 2-run double. Russell's now standing by with our own Robbie and Smikowski. Guys, take it away.
Yeah, he hit him in, he scored him, he did everything. Russell Martin caught 8 strong innings from Jeff Locke today, but Russell an 8-2 homestand, the first season sweep, or first sweep of the season, I should say, for the Pirates. What are the emotions like? What's the vibe like as you head off to St. Louis?
We feel pretty good right now. We've been playing good baseball, probably our last 10 series. It's fun to have our fans supporting us, coming in big numbers, so that's always fun. Thank you for coming out. But we feel good about how we're playing right now. We're aggressive. We're not afraid to make mistakes. We go out there, we enjoy it, and it's always easier when we have a pitcher that goes out there and has command and is aggressive like Jeff was today.
You know, Russell, how much is this starting to feel like last season? Team's starting to pick it up after a slow April. The place is jam-packed here when you're playing in the heat of the summer. How do you describe it?
We're heating up with the weather. But honestly, it's we got a good group, and it's pretty much the same group that we had last year. We believe that we have a good team, and we like to go out there and show it.
How do you think Jeff Locke managed emotions pitching against his buddy A.J., and why was he so good today?
Probably because he wanted to beat his buddy A.J. They're pals on and off the field, and it was definitely, almost probably playoff type atmosphere for Jeff and A.J. out there today. They probably wanted to beat each other pretty good, but Jeff got the upper hand, and it was you know, AJ pitched well, but he didn't do enough today.
You know, you played with AJ on 2 different teams, the Yankees and the Pirates. What was it like facing him today, and how were you successful in the first?
Can you repeat that?
Well, what was it like playing against him, and how were you able to get a hit against him today in the first to drive in the 2 runs?
Yeah, well, I've caught him in the past, and he's kind of stubborn type guy. He likes to he trusts his curveball, and he's got a really good one. He's got a good 2-seamer. I knew that he's probably going to stay away with the fastball, and I got a decent one to hit and found barrel, and it went over Marlins' head over there in right field. But I kind of had an idea of what he likes to do because I've caught him, you know, for a couple of years. So that's definitely an advantage in my case.
Thank you, Russ.
All right, thank you.
How about it for Russell Martin, the rest of the Buccos, Paul and John? And how about an 8-2 homestand as they head off to St. Louis to try to keep pace with the Cardinals?
Robbie and Mr. Martin, thank you very much. And when you talk about Jeff Locke, and you know, last year he had the All-Star first half and then the back injury and never really regained it, had to take him out of the rotation. Weren't sure how he was going to respond to that. I think we're seeing who the real Jeff Locke is right now, and maybe proving that first half last year was certainly no fluke.
No fluke. You know, the second half of the season, I think, you know, with the back injury, lost a little bit on the velocity, didn't have the same command that he had in the first half and what he has so far this year with the big league club. The fastball, he's throwing it where he wants to, especially in on righties. His changeup, that was it right there. The great tail off the end, you know, it runs away from the right-hand hitter. He can throw it for strikes, flips the breaking ball in there for a strike. You know, it just keeps everybody off balance. He has 3 great pitches going for him right now, and he's obviously tough to hit. Another great outing for Jeff.
And one thing Jeff is doing now for you, he's going at least 7, usually 8 innings every time out. How good is that?
Yeah, and it's just following suit, too. The whole rotation, for that matter, is going deeper in ball games. And, yeah, it's huge. He's so efficient, and they showed it, obviously, earlier in the telecast. You know, he's less than 13 pitches per inning, which is incredible. I mean, I don't know if he could keep that up, but he was around that again today.
Pirates get their first series sweep of the year. They do it against the Philadelphia Phillies. First sweep against the Phils, their cross-state rivals, since 2002. They're going to savor this one, and John and I are going to break it all down for you on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network. All of that is straight ahead, right here on Root Sports.